Our goals, one of the things that we write up on the board is beat the Steelers.
Kevin Hardy.
We hate the Steelers. It doesn't matter what our record is. It doesn't matter if we haven't won a game, all year long. When we play Pittsburgh, that's the game we want to win.
The passion for pounding Pittsburgh is so great, Jacksonville enlisted the enemy. Steeler Pro Bowler Carnell Lake crossed the line. Now he meets his former mates.
Carnell Lake.
Still have friends on that team. Still have a lot of good memories about Pittsburgh. But it just so happens that I play with Jacksonville now. We're here trying to win a Super Bowl, and one of the obstacles is Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's contempt for Jacksonville runs just as deep, but the Steelers have never won on Jaguar turf. For their playoff hopes to stay alive, they have to find a way tonight.
When it comes down to it, they're going to play hard, we're going to play hard. It's going to be a battle.
The rivalry.
Putting it together for that December drive to the playoffs. Joe, the defense has been terrific all year long. Now the offense is on a roll.
Mike, 10 days ago we sat here and we talked about that boring Jacksonville offense, that conservative coach, Tom Coughlin. Well, in the last 2 weeks, this offense has averaged over 35 points. And a big reason is because Mark Brunell is really healthy. Last week against Baltimore, played his best game of the year. His ribs are healed. And I'd like to see him, and he's told me he's going to go down the field tonight with the football. You have to remember, this offense is still without Fred Taylor, so the running game and the big plays in the running game are not there.
At the midway point of the season, the Pittsburgh Steelers were 5-3 and right in the thick of it. But since then, 3 straight division losses, 2 at home, 1 to the Browns, 1 to the Bengals. And Bill Cowher had seen enough. Cordell Stewart out at quarterback, back in his role as Slash. And now Mike Tomczak, Paul, runs this offense.
Michael, desperate times, desperate measures. Bill Cowher's focus is not on getting to the playoffs. It's on winning a football game. Cordell Stewart could not get the job done. In fact, the team lost confidence in him. We talked to Jerome Bettis yesterday. He said when Mike Tomczak came into the game last Sunday, the offense was rejuvenated. But the Steelers cannot win by being one-dimensional. What they have to do with Mike Tomczak is get the ball down the field.
All right, Paul, and the Steelers will have the services of Cordell Stewart, but at wide receiver. It's the return of Slash on an ESPN NFL Thursday night special.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
$73,000 on hand to see if their Jaguars can go to 11-1 as they face their division arch rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go back to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Coach, concerning the quarterback situation on the football team, what do you expect to get from Mike Tomczak that you weren't able to get from Cordell Stewart?
Well, hopefully some consistency. This is a great opportunity for our football team. This isn't about Mike Tomczak. Tonight's about the Pittsburgh Steelers, an opportunity to play the best team in the National Football League.
What has Cordell's attitude been like in a very short week, and how much will we see him at wide receiver tonight?
You'll see him good. You'll see him as much as we can expect. We'll see what the situation calls for, but he's been great. Let's see how the football team responds. They've had a good 2 days of work.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. And earlier today, actually, I had a chance to ask Coach Cowher if there was any truth to the rumors that he plans on leaving Pittsburgh at the end of the season. He said absolutely not. Mike?
All right, thanks, Solomon. And there is Cordell. He said he seems to be quite happy, actually, to play wide receiver down the stretch, but it breaks his 43-game streak of being the starting quarterback, which was the second longest active streak in the NFL, second only to Brett Favre, who set a record at 120 games. The Jaguars have won the toss. Chris Brown to kick it off to Mac at Stacy, the rookie out of Temple, and Reggie Barlow, their big-time return man. Barlow muffs it twice, then fumbles, and the Jaguars have recovered at the 17, an inauspicious beginning for Jack. Stewart, big hole right up the middle, and Stewart bangs his way out to the 30-yard line, first down. Brunell with a lot of time. And gets out of bounds in front of Carlos Emmons. Steeler defense has a three-man front. Henry, Steed, and Orpheus Roy, who leads the down linemen in tackles and in sacks with 5.5. Great linebackers, Gilden, Kirkland, the leading tackler, Earl Holmes, who has developed into a star, and Emmons. The secondary, weakened by an injury to Chad Scott, Deshae Townsend, moves to the left corner for him. The others, Washington, Flowers, and Davis. Lavon Kirkland, 270 pounds plus, and runs as well as anybody on that defense. Brunell out in the flat. He's got his fullback, Shelton. And Shelton wrapped up in a hurry by Jason Gilden.
What a terrific job they've done, Mike, with this. Tom Coughlin is calling the plays and just trying to be able to get a feel for what Pittsburgh wants to do. They did a terrific job against them the first time they played. Now he wants to see how they're going to work it.
Tom Coughlin, 45-30 in his 5th season. This roster handpicked by him as the only coach in the history of this franchise. And this year is the 6th anniversary of the awarding of the franchise to Jacksonville, Florida. Third and long. Brunell over the middle. This one's batted up in the air and incomplete. Lavon Kirkland was all over Keenan McCardell.
Now you got Lavon Kirkland that you talking about, weighs 270 plus. Keenan McCardell is a wide receiver, but he's in his zone. Watch number 99. He's right in the middle of your screen. Here comes McCardell in. He just pops him as soon as the ball gets there. That was never a catch.
Looked like a Heimlich maneuver. Brian Barker, 8th in the NFL in punting. He'll kick to Edwards. Low. And takes a kick out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Not a good punt by Brian Barker, only 30 yards, and the Steelers will have good field position for their first possession of the ball game. When Jacksonville, there's no score. These overhead shots provided by the Dell Computers aerial cam high above Jacksonville, Florida for this ESPN NFL Thursday night special. A delay before the first snap. It won't rattle Mike Tomczak, the veteran of 15 years in this game. Bettis runs right through Donovan Darius.
Donovan Darius is going to come up number 20 to hit Jerome Bettis. Now watch Jerome Bettis take on the defensive back right now. Head to head, Darius goes one way, Bettis goes 3 yards the other way.
Gain of 8 to the bus. Tomczak throws short. He's got the first down to his tight end, Mitch Lyons. Up front, Gandy, Alan Faneca, an excellent drive blocker. Duffy for the injured Dermontti Dawson, Stye, and Brown. Play action by Tomczak. Throws for Whitman, incomplete. The fullback couldn't hold it. For the Jaguars on defense, the front four win. Walker Payne and Tony Brackens, who has 9 sacks and a career high. That's 5th in the league. Solid linebackers with Pop, Martz, and Kevin Hardy, who leads the team in tackles and is second with 8.5 sacks. A ball-hawking secondary has Bryant and Beasley at the corners. Darius and Carnell Lake, who was a 4-time Pro Bowl selection with the Steelers.
Richard Hunt, his face mask. Bryce Pop. Seth Payne and Bryce Pop put the pressure on. Payne winds up just catching his face mask.
And then didn't make the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask, number 91, defense. Prior to the pass, the 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. There was no intention of grounding, The quarterback was out of the pocket.
All right, Seth Payne 91. Faneca is the guard. Look at it. He just runs right over number 65, Alan Faneca, and gets back to Tomczak. Tomczak really does a smart thing because he sees Bryce pop. Here's the thing. Here's the face mask. That's 15 yards. And then Tomczak, 15 years, smart, throw the ball away.
Does an incredible job of getting his face away from the pull of Seth Payne.
Another first down for the Steelers on their opening possession. Bettis swarmed at the 29.
Jerome Bettis, the ball carrier, tackled by Ronaldo Wynn and Lonnie Marks.
Pete Gonzalez and Anthony Wright have been the backup quarterbacks all year, 3rd and 4th respectively. Gonzalez in his 2nd year out of Pittsburgh. He is the backup to Tomczak tonight as Cordell Stewart goes to slash. And there is Anthony Wright, the rookie free agent out of South Carolina. They carry 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Tonight, he is 3rd. Tomczak, good protection. And throws complete to Bobby Shaw.
The play action fake just long enough holds the linebackers and puts enough indecision as the defense starts to close on them. It gives them that time to be able to handle the out. Inside receiver, Bobby Shaw, number 82. You push up the field, you break it out. There's the separation. Manages to come in, make the catch in front of Carnell Lake for the first down.
Steelers with another first down. They have it inside the Jacksonville 18. Bettis hit in the backfield. He'll lose 2. Storming through, Tony Brackens led the charge and got some help from Kevin Hardy, number 51.
This was supposed to be a draw play to Bettis. And number 90, Tony Brackens, the complete player. Watch this. He goes inside. Look at this. As soon as Bettis gets the ball, Brackens gets him. And you notice, Joe, how he slid down his legs and get his ankle.
Yeah, but it's not fair. When nobody blocks you, I don't know if you should get like a full tackle.
You remember the first time we saw Tony Brackens? We said this kid is going to be a star. He has emerged this year. Tomczak going deep, end zone, out of bounds. Hines Ward was there. There is a flag down on the play back near the line of scrimmage.
You know, this is one of those decisions that a coach makes. Do you penalize them 5 yards now, or do you refuse it and make it 3rd down and 12?
Illegal formation. Number 81 on the offense, covered number 85. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Cordell Stewart on the sideline, hoping to get a chance to play as a wide receiver. That's what he has done the last 3 games. What stands out there as much as the 0-3 record, 1 touchdown, 5 picks. And those 5 picks, those weren't balls that hit people in the hands and popped up in the air. Those were bad throws.
They hit people in the hands.
The wrong people.
Yeah.
3rd and 13. Check if they took the penalty. 2nd and 18. Wants the screen. Now Tomczak's going to try to run, and Donovan Darius hit him out of bounds.
There is no way that should not be a penalty.
Holy cow.
There is no way that should not be a penalty. Donovan Darius just runs up as Tomczak is 2 yards out of bounds and gets horse-collared.
I can't believe he did it, and I can't believe they didn't throw a flag on him.
Watch this. He's out of bounds, and he tackles him up around. I mean, you can't do that. You're not supposed to do it. You're not allowed to do that. He gives him a tomahawk around the neck. I mean, that's a bad job by the officials.
And 3 guys appeared to have a real good look at it. 3rd and 15 now. Tomczak tipped away in the end zone by Fernando Bryant. Intended for the rookie Troy Edwards. Bryant right there.
Boy, you know, it is such a great play by Fernando Bryant. He looks at the receiver's eyes, and he waits to the very last minute. Watch what he does now. He's looking at the receiver. He sees the receiver look for the ball. And as soon as he does, he turns and gets his body in a position to turn and knock the ball down.
I'll also tell you this. He got helped out by a bad throw by Mike Tomczak. If Mike puts a little air under it and throws it outside a little more, he gives Edwards a better chance to make the play.
Chris Brown, the rookie, has had a marvelous season. And it continues. He is now 20 of 22 in field goal attempts, and the Steelers jump on top 3-0. Beautiful waterfront of Jacksonville, Florida, and the Jaguars trailing the Steelers 3-0 with 8:51 to go first quarter. Mack and Barlow will drop deep for the kickoff from Chris Brown. Barlow, who muffed the opening kick, takes this one to 7. Has a seam. Barlow to midfield. Travis Davis, the former Jaguar, makes the tackle, but there's a marker down back at the 22 that could nullify a 43-yard return.
There are a lot of markers down.
Flag on the play.
Holding 52 of the kick return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Grant Boyer, a backup linebacker.
You know, this drives special teams and head coaches crazy. Here's 52 Boyer. Now look, when you got a guy by the shirt and you throw him down, you're going to get called. Not only that, he's got him by the face mask.
He got his money's worth on that one.
Boy, and remember we were sitting with Tom Coughlin yesterday, and when he talked about turnovers and he talked about mistakes, his face started to get red. The veins you could see in his neck. Both kickoffs for his special teams have been major areas. The muff of the kick and now the penalty.
Plus the face mask call against Mike Tomczak that allowed them to get in a field goal position. Chris Howard is in as a wide receiver. He's number 24. They go with 5. Underneath, Howard to the 23. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues this week as Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys battle Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots. And on Monday Night Football, Randy Moss and the Vikings take on Warren Sapp and the Tampa Bay Bucks. ESPN and ABC are exclusive networks for primetime NFL football, and Al and Boomer are in for a beauty in that one, Minnesota and Tampa Bay.
And I love a situation like this for some play action and go down the field.
Jimmy Smith to Shea Townsend, knocks him out of bounds. They didn't even bother with a play action.
Well, what happens is when it's 2nd and 2, you really put a defense in a bind. They're committed to the fact that, okay, you're going to probably try and stop the run. Jim Haslett, what he decided to do was to go one-on-one outside. You see him in coverage on the outside to Shea Townsend. And there's just giving him all kinds of room for Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith has now taken the NFL lead. That was his 76th reception of the year. And 4 straight seasons, he's gone over 1,000 yards. Stewart, draw play. Carlos Emmons took his knees out from under him. Levon Kirkland also in on the stop. They are anxiously awaiting the return of Fred Taylor, who has had a bad hamstring much of the year. It's not that Cordell Stewart is not, or not that James Stewart is not a solid back. He certainly is. But Taylor gives them that breakaway dimension that Stewart can't. 5 wide receivers again. Brunella Smith. About 1.5 yards shy of a first down. Oldham took him out of bounds.
The first time these two teams played, Jim Haslett, the defensive coordinator of the Steelers, played a lot of zone, rolled up on Jimmy Smith, made it tough to get to him. What Tom Coughlin has done to counteract that is he's putting 5 receivers out, and he's forcing Jim to go one-on-one with his corners and one-on-one with his receivers.
Here's what Jim Haslett's defense did in the first meeting, allowed only 85 yards through the air, only 204 yards total. His offense didn't get it done that day, and they lost 17-3. Stewart, 3rd and short. Hurdles the tackler, runs through another, and has the first down. That's what James Stewart will give you power and determination.
Well, he got some outstanding blocking down the line of scrimmage, and Wade, the center, number 66, gets out there. But Stewart goes through the line. The thing that makes this thing work is that he keeps his legs going all the time.
You talk about hard running. Here's a guy coming off a knee surgery. Watch him run. Levon Kirkland, number 99, he takes the outside position. He hits him square and can't hold on to him.
Well, he got through Kirkland and Jason Gilden, two big, strong linebackers. Stewart again. Cuts inside, a nice block by Shelton, and fights for extra yardage down to the Steeler 42-yard line.
You know what's amazing is what they're doing now, running the football. They're running to the right. And when we talked to Brunell yesterday, Brunell says, you know when you get in an area, where do you want to run out? They want to run over Baselli. But he said, you guys are always talking about, look at Cersei and the guys on the other side. He said, these guys are great linemen.
You're in that situation again where Haslett's got to make a decision. I talked about taking shots. This is where coaches like to take the shot down the field, inside the other team's area around the 40-yard line.
Brunell changes the play and goes to Stewart. Nice block, Jimmy Smith. Flag is down. Stewart to the 27. A 14-yard return, and this one may come back.
It looks like Wiegert, number 77, he was down on the ground.
Holding. 66. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That's John center. Wade, the center.
Well, I got the double digits.
That's right.
77 to 66. But I tell you, when your team is moving, especially against a defense like this, Joe, it's just a great defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then this is the thing that makes this guy go nuts, is you stop yourself with a holding penalty.
The job Jim Haslett has done, continually losing people over the last 3 years. Carnell Lake, Willie Williams, Greg Lloyd, Chad Brown. He just keeps coming up with players and making that defense a number one against the pass.
2nd and 15 for the Jaguars. Matt. And the rookie barrels his way to the Steelers' 39-yard line.
Did I mention 19th against the run?
Yes.
Boy, I'll tell you what, they did just a great job by blocking down with Baselli, and then Wiegert is the right guard that comes back out and makes the play. I mean, this is unbelievable. When you see the hole, now you know why it was there. Watch Baselli. He goes down. Watch Wiegert, 77. He comes out, and they just split it.
Look at the hole Mack has to go through. He's a bit quicker than Stewart, not quite as quick as Taylor. He falls right in between the two of them. Nice changeup for the Jaguars.
And he's 240 pounds. 3rd and short. Brunell from the shotgun. He wasn't expecting the snap, but now he's got to cover it up. And hustling back is Baselli to get the football. Mark Brunell looking downfield when the ball hit him.
And this happened in the last game we did. When we did the New Orleans Saints a couple weeks ago. Same exact situation. Almost the same place on the field. Mark Brunell is looking around, waiting for the call. And this is the argument that coaches make why they don't like the shotgun. If you take your eyes off the ball just for an instant, it gets away. And Tony Baselli actually winds up making the recovery.
Bobby Shaw goes back to wait at his 10-yard line. Barker pressure. They got a piece of that one. And once again, the Steelers will be in great field position. Joey Porter, the rookie outside linebacker who has tremendous speed, got through and got a piece of that punt. It's only 12 yards. Porter with a huge play on special teams. How the Jaguar feels, Tom Coughlin feels the same way. Mistakes and penalties have ruined the first quarter for Jacksonville.
You don't know how he feels. He landed on that pipe wrong.
Bettis hit in the backfield again. Lonnie Martz got him before he could take a step.
Well, the first thing that the Jaguars told us that they have to do, and I guess that every team that plays the Pittsburgh Steelers, we've got to shut down Jerome Bettis.
Well, one of the problems you're into, you're without an all-pro center in Dermontti Dawson. Roger Duffy, only in his second year, is the middle of that line, and that's where Lonnie Martz plays, the middle linebacker. And they have had trouble blocking people up front all year long.
2nd and 13. Tomczak quickly out to Ward on the flanker screen. He'll pick up about 5. Martz chases the play from behind to bring him down.
You know, when you throw that little quick out, Joe, you don't stutter step out there long. Well, not that many.
You know, that looks like that screen that Chicago runs where you catch it and try and swing it inside. Didn't work out.
They hope to have Dermontti Dawson back soon, the best center in the game. 170 straight starts until he was hurt.
I talked to him on the field before the game, and he feels like he'll be back next week.
Richard Huntley checks into the backfield on 3rd and 8. Tomczak throws underneath for Bruner, but he was covered by Hardy. It's incomplete.
You know, when you said Dermontti Dawson is the best center in the game, you know he is when all the other centers say he is.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there isn't another center in the game that will disagree that he is not the best.
He is the standard. And now Pittsburgh will have to punt it away. Barlow, who is tied for 10th in the NFL in punt returns, better than 10 a shot, is back. Miller is 4th in the NFL in punting. He's had a great year. And a beauty. Just crushed it over the head of Barlow, but this will make the end zone. A 56-yard punt, but a net of only 36 as the ball will come out to the 20. And the Jaguars offense, which has stopped itself with penalties and mistakes, will have it in a moment. Rivalry, here's the proof.
Well, take a look at this. Still 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Look at these hits. Here's Bettis delivering a blow on offense. Bettis blocking Brackens. Huntley blocking Brackens. And then Darius out of bounds. And that thing should have been called. I mean, that's a hit, but it's a bad hit, out of bounds.
There were some decleaters in there, weren't there? James Stewart is the single setback behind Mark Brunell. Flushed. And he'll get out of bounds in front of Levon Kirkland, which is always an excellent idea.
Mark Brunell, the ball carrier, forced out of bounds.
An excellent job in coverage. Dwayne Washington, number 20 on Keenan McCardell. You start there. You bump him at 5, and then you just sort of lay back. Does a nice job of feeling him. Now we go to the other side where Barlow and Jimmy Smith is. You see Deshae Townsend not really giving Brunell any place to go with the football.
Second and less than a yard for Jacksonville, now out of the eye. Stewart, big hole up the middle, first down, closed in a hurry as the Steelers swarm to the ball, and coming up from the safety spot, Travis Davis along with the nose man, Joel Steed.
It really is amazing, Joe. You're sitting here looking right down at this field. We're on about the 45-yard line. That hole opened up. It looked like he's going to run for about 20 yards, and that baby closed just that quick.
Stewart again. Hurdles out to the 35-yard line on top of Dwayne Washington.
Tackled by Dwayne Washington.
ESPN 2 is your home tomorrow night for the Mid-American Conference Championship game. At 8 Eastern, Western Michigan heads to Huntington, West Virginia to battle Chad Pennington and the Thundering Herd of Marshall. They are ranked 11th this year, and Pennington's name certainly being kicked around for next year's draft.
I like the way he throws the football. I really do.
Smith just caught Deshae Townsend flat-footed and said bye-bye.
That's not fair. That's cheat. We've just seen the first cheat in this game.
Help me.
What a job he does. Deshae Townsend winds up one-on-one on Jimmy Smith. Look at that. Little hitch. Okay, square up. You can't do that. Whoa, where's my feet? Where's my shoes? Look out. Goodbye.
Deshae Townsend in his first career start playing for the injured Chad Scott, and Jimmy Smith took him to school on that one. That's the end of it. Stewart lowers his head, crosses midfield, picks up a couple.
I believe that the Jaguars have developed over the last couple of weeks into a big play offense. we have yet to see Tom Coughlin really challenge Pittsburgh down the field. A lot of little crossing routes, a lot of little hitches. I think he's got to open it up at some point. And even if they're double covering Jimmy, let Keenan head on down the field.
They'll whistle this one dead.
False start. Number 87, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's a big mistake for a wide receiver, Keenan McCardell, as he moves early, and it cost him 5 yards. 4 penalties on the Jaguars have nullified. Brunell with time. Smith wide open. Travis Davis a couple of steps off of him, and a gain of 29.
Well, two things happen when a quarterback has this much time, especially Brunell. But what Jimmy Smith did is he took Travis Davis to the post and then brought it back to the outside. Travis Davis has got him. We talked to him yesterday about playing safety. He says, I've got to sit there in the middle. Now watch Jimmy. Boom. Davis out. Perfect.
Paulo, you talked about the protection. Look at the guys up front. The Steeler defensive linemen don't even get off the line of scrimmage and allow Brunell to sit back there all day long.
Stewart hit around the ankles, taken down by Kevin Henry. Nice play by the 7-year veteran defensive end.
Tackle by Kevin Henry. Loss of 3, second down.
The only problem with that play, it brings up 2nd down and 13. And every time the Jaguars have had 2nd down and 13, they either throw a pass for 18 or run one for 15. This has been a tough down for Pittsburgh on defense.
Look out for Jimmy Smith. Already 4 catches, 59 yards. And Brunell didn't have a chance. Carlos Emmons with a clear shot at the quarterback.
Well, they had a blocker in the backfield stepping up, but there was nobody to account for Emmons.
Okay, now, we saw Tony Brackens get one with nobody blocking him. Here comes Carlos Emmons. All right? Now the Steelers have one. The Jaguars have one. The Steelers have one. And both quarterbacks and running backs have decided they're going to ask the guys to just slow him down a little bit.
Emmons now with 5 sacks this year. 3rd and a mile for Jacksonville. Down the middle, McCardell to the 15-yard line. He's got the first down. They need 21. They get 22. How's that for a big play?
It's happened all day. The longer the yardage, the more difficult it is for Pittsburgh to play defense. Their secondary just gives too much room. He gets to move inside. Lance Brown barely gets a piece of him. You know, to me, if you're going to be on a slot receiver, jam him. Don't let him get down near 1st down yardage. And again, a perfect pass by Mark Brunell.
You see what McCardell does, though. As soon as he gets open, Joey settles down. He knows that he's got that position, and he's got it open in the middle of the field. He just settled down and let Brunell throw the ball to him.
Brunell has hit 6 straight out of that 7 of 8. Already more yardage than he had the first time he played them. Brunell now scrambles and slides in safely at the 14, a gain of 1. Orpheus Roy putting the pressure on him.
Orpheus Roy did not catch Brunell. Brunell saw the linebacker coming. That's why he went down.
Better part of valor right
there.
yeah.
We were talking to him yesterday about running with the football, and he really doesn't like it.
Well, you know, he's running smarter. He's getting it down. And also, you got to remember something. He's got that bum knee, which he's going to have to wear a brace now, he knows, probably for his entire career. So he just doesn't want to take any more shots than he has to.
11th play of this drive. Blitz coming. Stewart runs through it and gets down to the 10-yard line. Levon Kirkland on the stop. Baselli gets a lot of credit, as he should, as the left tackle. But, Paul, you mentioned earlier, it's an excellent offensive line, and Searcy, number 72, the right tackle. Right tackles are ignored in this league because basically they're not the glamour guys. The left tackle protects the quarterback's blind side in most cases, but Cersei, as good a right tackle as there is.
Now down here, the tight end, Damon Jones, number 88, only has 12 catches for the season, but 3 of them are for touchdowns.
Shovel pass to Barlow, and the Steelers were waiting on that. Ball came loose. Pittsburgh has it. Another Jacksonville mistake. Mike Vrabel, number 56, was there to hit him, and Emmons picked it up.
Man, Mike Vrabel, you talk about playing in the middle. He is number 56. Look at this shot. Emmons is on the bottom, but Vrabel hits him right in the gut. The ball comes out.
Another big Jacksonville mistake. The Steelers defense comes up big when it has to. Still 3-0 Pittsburgh. The relationship between Bill Cowher and Cordell Stewart as a coach and a quarterback probably as close as any in the National Football League. But Bill Cowher felt he had to do something, finally benches Cordell Stewart as his quarterback.
Yeah, he's slashed now, and he's out as a receiver. And we had a chance yesterday to talk to Bill Cowher about and ask him, will he be the quarterback next year? And he said, in all likelihood, he may be. Now, to me, that's not a definitive answer.
And Cordell basically said, I'll play wide receiver, but it's just going to be for the remainder of the season. It's only going to be for the 5 weeks that are left in the season or more.
Tomczak drops to the 1. Throws complete up to the 18-yard line.
What I found most curious in our conversation with Bill Cowher last night is that Cordell Stewart is not even attending the quarterback meetings. Right. He is purely in a wide receiver meeting. And that doesn't make sense to me. If he's going to be your quarterback, he can still sit and still learn in those meetings. So I'm not sure exactly how to read this, except that right now he's a receiver.
Bettis. Couple of good blocks that time, pounds it out to the 25-yard line. Ball came loose, but after he was down. We asked Bill Cowher if totally removing Cordell from the quarterback position would stunt his growth.
I think as a head coach, your obligation is to the football team, not to worry or try to protect one's development or one's career, or a person's career. You can't put any one individual above the team. And so, you know, what we've done here in making the move we've made, and Cordell has been very unselfish about it, he's accepted it, is that we're out to win football games. And right now, this is in the best interest of the football team, and that's why I've made the move.
Young man with a $27 million contract. And he wants to play quarterback next year. Tomczak overwhelmed back at the 17. Larry Smith charged through, got some help with Kevin Hardy. Smith, the big-time pass rusher, the rookie out of FSU.
Larry Smith and Kevin Hardy. Loss of 7.
We talked about the problems they have in the offensive line. Alan Faneca, number 65. He takes the inside backer. Doesn't really get a block. It just doesn't really get a block.
Well, that leaves the back Huntley on a defensive tackle, and that's a total mismatch, and that's what Jacksonville got.
Dom Capers has the #1 defense in the league. They had never been better than 15th in their career, and Cordell Stewart now checks in at the first time as a wide receiver, but they'll whistle the play dead.
I love it. Look at, they're all pointing. Guys in the white shirts pointing at the guys in the green shirts.
Well, it's a good call, the defense. Left tackle jumped offside.
Prior to the snap, encroachment. The nose tackle, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, not to be picky, but they're teal, not green.
You mean the teal curtain that Dom Capers
right.
coaches is continuing to do well? That's just a veteran quarterback. It's 2nd down and long. You want to try and pick up some cheap yards. You got a defense that is set back to come after you. You go on a hard count. You get yourself 5 yards.
Tomczak goes to the shotgun. Stewart was the motion man. They throw underneath to Stewart, and he's ripped by Beasley after a gain of about 4.
He is going to draw a lot of attention because when he played slash, he was terrific. The guy has got great hands. He's a big guy, and he does get open. He should know the offense. He was the quarterback of it, so he ought to know the patterns and read the defenses. It's a nice move, but that was a great defensive play by Beasley.
At 6'1", 211, that is a big slot receiver.
And the Jaguars have to be careful. They can't get enamored with trying to find him too much and ignore the other receivers.
Zach Bryant, and a flag comes down as the pass was intended for Edwards, and Bryant and Edwards jawing at each other.
I am impressed with Troy Edwards' ability at the line of scrimmage to make moves and get on top. Watch how much he's got Fernando Bryant beat. He's behind him by at least 3 yards. This ball is just badly underthrown. Watch the move at the line. Look at him freeze him. He's got him now. Right now he's beat. He's 2-3 yards ahead of him. The ball is just grossly underthrown. And really, Bryant doesn't necessarily touch him, but that's the way the rules are, and they're going to throw the flag.
He never turned his head, Joe. He had his hands up in his face, and they're going to throw the flag.
Bettis. A hard 2.5 yards. Keep in mind, though, face guarding is not a penalty in the NFL anymore.
No, but you have to make a legitimate move with the ball, and when you don't do that, they're going to call it.
There's a guy who's sort of been lost in the shuffle here this year, Jerome Bettis. He's got 768 yards rushing coming into this game, and you know, in his entire 7-year career, the only time he's ever really had an outstanding year, it coincided with Cordell Stewart's outstanding year in '97.
2nd and 8. Blitz coming. Zach air mails this one out of bounds, intended for Edwards.
Hey, can we go back to just Jerome for a second? It was so funny yesterday talking to Jerome Bettis. What he's talking about, you know, a good year I had it when Cordell had a good year. Then he named the quarterbacks and he played.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
The Rams, you had T.J. Rubley, who I don't believe is still working.
But they go hand in hand. Normally, when you see a guy with a big year at one position, guys at other positions are also having the big years. Huntley, number 33, in on 3rd and 8. Excellent protection for Zach. Now it breaks down. He throws down to the 30-yard line. It would be a first down, but it's incomplete, intended for Edwards. He was covered by Darius.
They may challenge this, baby.
Well, there's no question that he dropped it. Troy Edwards is trying to plead his case and say he was held. The ball goes down. Just does sneak out. Nice call by the official.
If they see that ball hit the ground, it's going to be incomplete.
I'll tell you, that was a great play by Zach. Zach
sure
is dead in the backfield. He gets out and gets the ball out.
And he knew just not ducking his head and throwing that ball, he was going to be drilled.
I always look at Zach when he walks off the field, Joe, and he does something. He's always smiling like he knows something we don't know.
He loves to play.
I think after 15 years, he's just thrilled to be working.
Reggie Barlow waits on the punt. Miller hangs it high. Barlow, fair catch, makes it inside the 10. 33 yards on the punt and no return. The Jaguars will have it when we come back. They're down 3-0. 6:26 to go. First half. Jacksonville with poor field position again. Stewart runs hard out to the 19-yard line. Lee Flowers makes the tackle.
Jason Gilden ran in and ran right by the ball carrier. I mean, he is the linebacker on the left-hand side of the defense, and he just ran upfield and never looked at the ball carrier.
Well, what they did on that play is they split Chris Howard out, number 24, and it forced Lee Flowers, the strong side safety, to come out and play him, so there wasn't any run support behind Gilden.
2nd and 2. Brunell throws a strike to Barlow. It's a first down at the 31-yard line in front of Dwayne Washington. And on ABC, your exclusive networks for prime time NFL football. It's got a good one here. The Steelers and the Jaguars. 3-0, second quarter. Brunell has been very sharp. This one to Jimmy Smith. Looks like it's enough for another first down.
Wow, I'm really impressed. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line is pretty good players. I mean, it's a good defense. But this offensive line, he's got all day, and I'm talking Brunell. Look at Tony Baselli. He is on the outside, and that is just on Kevin Henry. Look at this. Get away from me.
It's a thankless job trying to get past Baselli. Brunell has hit 10 of 11 for 113 yards against the best pass defense in the NFL. Stewart. Checking with Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike, Jacksonville running back Fred Taylor has already missed 6 games this season with a hamstring injury. Fred, first of all, how is the injury doing, and when are you expected to be back?
It's doing pretty good right now. It's a day-to-day treatment type thing. It's a little tricky, so I really don't know.
And you guys,
Taylor may very well be right. He gets 10 days off after this game, a chance to heal a little more. McCardell can't get it. Lee Flowers just got a piece of it, and that ball hung up for quite a while.
And we talked about the protection that Brunell got. That time, he just didn't have enough time to make the throw down the field. Good pressure. Watch this thing. It hangs in the air. Lee Flowers is coming from nowhere. McCardell still tries to stay with it, and the ground came up and bit him too quick. Goes right off of Flowers' fingers. Keenan thinks he's got it, and the ground knocks his shoulder around.
Boy, tremendous effort by McCardell. 3rd and 8 now. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. And that will be interference on Deshae Townsend. He cut Chris Howard off. That became a point of emphasis a couple of years ago. If you step in front, excuse me, it was Barlow, you step in front of the receiver and cut off the pattern, it's interference.
I'll tell you guys, you talked about the last one because Fernando Bryant didn't get his head around.
Pass interference, 26, defense, first down.
I don't know about this one. You know what? He gets his head around. There it comes. He turns his head. Okay, he turns his head. Now you show me where the interference is.
He cut off the pattern. That's pure and simple. It wasn't the contact. He just ran in front of him. Whew. Stewart pounds to the 15, first down.
So basically what you're saying, Mike, is you have to let receivers beat you.
That's exactly right.
That's the rule. The rule is you have to allow receivers to beat you, or else they're going to throw flags on you.
Look at this. Where are you going to run? If you're going to get a hole, look to Baselli. He's going to kick out on Edmonds on the linebacker. And look, watch him. He kicks out, and he makes sure that Edmonds doesn't get a tackle, so his back gets a hand on him. That is a beautiful hole. That's 12 yards.
This offense appears really to be clicking now. Stewart again. Got his shoulders down and slithered to the 9.
James Stewart, the ball carrier, tackled by Kevin Henry.
Tell you, Levon Kirkland is not a very happy camper. I mean, he got caught up in the middle of that line, and he started pushing people after it was over. Look at this.
And he's woofing at the officials.
Yeah, well, he thought he got held.
And probably did.
Hard not to. Can't miss him.
2nd and 4. Approaching 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Stewart on the toss. Hurdles inside the 10, back near the line of scrimmage. May have picked up a yard, and that's all.
Well, I told you about Levon Kirkland. He thought he was held. This time he reads the play perfectly. And goes to get to the outside. Watch his speed. The right angle down the line of scrimmage. He just takes on the blockers. That's Cersei 72 and ends up making the play. Look at this. Man, you talk about some contact. Look at this. And then he grabs the foot of Stewart as he goes up.
That's 270 pounds plus
of
running.
Of agility.
Stewart was 68 yards rushing tonight. He now has a career-high 733 for the season. Brunell in trouble. And throws it away. Lee Flowers was coming on the safety blitz.
Incomplete. Lee Flowers on the pressure. 4th down.
And they'll send on Mike Hollis, who's having a magnificent year, the most accurate kicker in the history of the NFL. Will try from 25 yards.
There's the kiss of death.
Wait till basketball season starts. You can kill a guy from the free throw line. Tough to jinx this kid. Mike Hollis with his 26th field goal of the season in 29 tries. We are tied at 3. 85 total yards to only 4 to 43. Time of possession is 2-1, and yet it is 3-3 because Jacksonville has been making the mistakes.
Time of possession means absolutely nothing. It's what you do with that time.
Wow.
Profound, huh?
That was profound.
Thank you very much.
That was profound.
I'm going to say it later on.
I'm going to write that down.
I'll say it later on in the game.
Write that one right down.
Zaraway and Huntley are deep to receive. Huntley from the 7 on the bounce. Got it back to the 25-yard line. Gang tackled there. Brant Boyer led the charge. 1 minute, 53 seconds to go. First half in Jacksonville. Back in a moment. Experience tonight's game on television and online. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com. Click on the enhanced TV logo. Sellout crowd here in Jacksonville. 3-3 with 1:53 to go in the half. Tomczak, and Edwards is out of bounds. Covered by Dave Thomas.
That is the second time tonight that Mike Tomczak has had his receivers up the field, and he continues to lead them out of bounds. I mean, Mike's not, he's got him beat again. Troy Edwards just continues to go by. Now, the problem is he's got to drop the ball. When that ball comes, it's got to come here. It can't wind up out there. Lead him up the field, and you get a touchdown.
Tomczak now only 5 of 11. He has missed his last 3. Now he wants to change the play. Lost the snap from center. Huntley had it, then he lost it. And Boyer has it for the Jaguars. Tomczak was in such a hurry to get the snap off before the play clock ran down.
But Richard Huntley made the ultimate mistake. Richard Huntley tried to pick it up instead of just falling on it.
Illegal snap on the center. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
What a break for Pittsburgh. Because the penalty occurred before the snap on the offense, the play doesn't count, and they'll be penalized 5 yards.
That's Roger Duffy.
Brendan Stye and Anthony Brown, the right tackle, right guard. See him moving? The communication caused the problem. And then Richard Huntley, he has a chance to make a play and winds up kicking it.
You know, I so agree, Joe, with this thing with Huntley is one of the things that you just don't ever do as a young player. Fall on the ball, have another play. Don't try to be a hero. Make sure you get the football.
And yet you see guys do it all the time.
I know they do.
They want to be in the highlights.
Well, you'll be in the highlight. Somebody else's.
Tomczak under pressure, and Brackens wiped him out. Chased down by Hardy, and he ran him right into Tony Brackens, who picked up his 10th sack of the year.
That's a coverage sack. The defense did such a great job giving Tomczak nowhere to go with the football.
Tomczak goes down. It will be 3rd and long when we come back. Already set team records with 10 sacks, 7 forced fumbles this year. Last week, he showed his vertical leap, intercepting a pass and returning it for a touchdown.
Mike, do you realize the Jacksonville Jaguars have never sent a defensive player to the Pro Bowl? I think they're going to have to charter a plane to take this bunch.
Tomczak can't find anybody. Finally out in the flat, knocked away by Bryant, intended for Edwards. And Mike Tomczak had nowhere to go.
You know, you talk about vertical leap of Brackens. Well, here's the guy that causes this for Tomczak. Really has no place to go. There is a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
He spun him around to talk to him.
And it's going to cost Mike Tomczak an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for grabbing the official.
And it's going to cost the Steelers field position, and you're going to give the Jaguars back the ball with about 1 minute and 30 seconds to go.
Is he ejected?
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 18 on the offense. After the incomplete pass, to be half the distance to the goal, 4th down.
All right. Here's the play on the outside. Now look at Tomczak. He goes over and whacks Fernando Bryant.
Now now let me tell you something. That's a bad call by the official. All he was doing was trying to talk to him and turn him around. I've seen 2 bad calls tonight. One personal foul they didn't call, and that personal foul.
Miller to punt out of his own end zone to Barlow, who waits inside Steeler territory. Beautiful punt by Miller. Drives him all the way back to the 41. Barlow with great speed. Back to the Steeler 47-yard line. 12-yard return after a punt of 51. Excellent field position for the Jaguars in a 3-3 game.
Official. Even if you just want to talk to him, you can't lay a hand on him. Now, I've seen other players do it and not have it called. In that instance, the rule is if you touch me, you're going to get 15. That's what happens.
Brunell. And does the smart thing and throws it away.
What a terrific job by this Pittsburgh defense. I mean, on first and second down and short, Jim Haslett's defense has done an outstanding job. They get into 2nd and 17, 3rd and 16, and the guys have a little trouble trying to stop.
I'll tell you that Carlos Evans is having a great game. He has been to the outside. He's doing what a linebacker is supposed to do. He stays outside. Don't let anybody get wider than you are.
Well, especially in the 34, that guy's got to have contained.
You got it.
Brunell off the hands of McCardell, incomplete. They'll bring up a 3rd and 10 with 1:15 to go in the half.
3rd down.
I think this is a huge play in the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've struggled on long yardage situations. Bill Cowher's defense has really played more zone than gone after Brunell because they're afraid of the matchups with the wide receivers. I don't think you can give Mark Brunell a lot of time to look at the field. I think you got to go after him.
Steelers come with a 3-man rush. Brunell over the middle, and that's going to be a first down to Damon Jones. The big tight end refuses to go down.
You know, you got to love it, don't you? I mean, if there's one guy that you like more than any of these other guys, it's the tight end. When you're in trouble, go to the tight end.
It's where you get the best matchups. Tom Coughlin's offense has that opportunity to work to Damon Jones in the middle.
Brunell throws to Smith inside the 20. And Jacksonville will use a timeout with 42 seconds to go. Keep in mind, Jacksonville playing without their starting tight end, Kyle Brady, who had 26 catches coming into this game.
We talked about the Pittsburgh defense wanting to take away the wide receivers. Damon Jones comes scot-free, works around LaVon Kirkland into the big hole in the middle. That's what happens when you rush only 3. That means that Mark Brunell has all day to throw the football. Look at that. Not a defensive player in the picture. And Scott Shields has to come up and make the tackle.
And how hard is Damon Jones to bring down?
Barry.
280 pounds. 280.
You have to remember, Kyle Brady, who's a meager 275, is not in the game tonight. And the starting tight end.
They think Jones just has unlimited potential out of Southern Illinois. The Jaguars have 1 timeout left, 42 seconds on the clock. They face the 2nd and 7 from the Steeler 20.
That's you!
Stewart.
Oh, what a great play.
Yeah, but here you are again. 3rd and long.
Dwayne Washington up from the corner. Jaguars hurrying. Brunell right at the sticks to McCardell. This will be close. And if you go by our ESPN 1st and 10 line, it's right across it. And with 8 seconds left.
Mike, the Jaguars catch a bit of a break here because they're going to measure, which really acts as a sort of a half of a timeout for him. So it gives Tom Coughlin an opportunity to think about exactly what he wants to do. Does he want to use his last timeout, or does he want to take a shot into the end zone?
He's telling him to take a timeout.
Just by the point of the ball. Now 6 seconds went off the clock before they stopped it for that measurement.
One quick shot to the end zone.
See, if I'm Jacksonville, I've got the one timeout left. I'd use it right here.
Well, if they complete something that's not in the end zone, they would need it to set up the field goal.
Well, they're letting it go down to 3 seconds and take the timeout.
There you go.
Jacksonville. That's their 3rd and final timeout.
So that'll set up Hollis, who tied it earlier. And even with all the dominance the Jaguars have shown in the first half, how many times have we seen a team just steamrolling someone else, not able to put them away and give them a chance to get back in the ballgame?
I've seen twice tonight where Troy Edwards has had the defensive backs beat, and Mike Tomczak has just not been able to get the ball up the field to him.
Offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride talking with Tomczak. And Cordell Stewart has seen a little bit of action as a wide receiver, caught one pass. This will be a 32-yard field goal try by Hollis, who's already hit from 25. It's about as automatic as it gets. That's the end of the first half. This 5 years playing each other in the AFC Central. Jaguars on top 6-3 as we're ready to start the second half of play. And the rookie Steve Lindsay, who handles the kickoffs, is back to tee it up. Zaraway and Huntley are deep to receive for the Steelers. A low bounding kick taken by Mitch Lyons, the tight end. And Lyons fights his way out across the 35. We talked about the rivalry. The proof is in the hitting. Bettis starts it off. Huntley, what a block on Brackens. Darius with a little extra on Tomczak. And a lot of woofing going on. Levon Kirkland, great play there. And then Tomczak gets into the act and brings the official into it. Bill Cowher not even thinking playoffs. He just needs a win to get back to 500. A loss tonight could doom any hopes the Steelers have of the playoffs. Play action, and Tomczak misses his fullback John Whitman. The Jacksonville Jaguars came into this game with the #1 defense in the NFL, allowing 250 yards a game, #1 against points, and nothing they've done in the first half would belie that fact. Only 38 total yards for the Steelers in the entire first half, and the time of possession better than 2-1 for Jacksonville. Still, it's only...
Kevin Gilbride was the man who was brought in to resurrect an offense. And, of course, when you invest 11, 12 weeks in offseason in a training camp and getting your quarterback, Cordell Stewart, ready to play, and then you go through the struggles that he has gone through, now you have to change things up when you get a quarterback who isn't quite as mobile. It doesn't make it easy. It makes it a little easier on Dom Capers because he knows that his guys can just set their sights on the pocket, and Tomczak will be there.
And Tomczak was certainly very good coming off the bench in relief of Stewart last week. Blitz coming. Tomczak hangs in there, throws complete. This will be an interesting spot. It appears to be just shy of a first down. Bobby Shaw made the catch, and Donovan Darius, the strong safety, made the tackle.
They don't make this. This is going to be about half the ball
Yeah, but you wonder if this is a point where Bill Cowher decides that we're going to cast caution to the wind and just go for it.
I was just wondering the same thing.
You know, that makes it, I looked at the halftime stats. That's 0 for 5. If they don't make this, that'll be 0 for 5 on 3rd down.
You think they're short?
They're short.
Okay. By how much?
Half a ball. It's half a ball.
You're pretty good.
Oh, please.
That's why I stopped. Hey,
half the ball.
No sense in even trying with him.
No hesitation whatsoever. The punt team comes on. Bill Cowher knows he is one Jacksonville mistake away from taking the lead, and the Jaguars have certainly made their share of mistakes tonight. Barlow will go deep for Miller's punt.
Can I get some internet points for that?
No.
Oh, thanks.
No, you get no enhanced TV points.
You'd be doing well if you got points for that. But you're not doing well.
And you can't allow Mike to answer this next one.
No.
Not much of a rush.
Wow.
And Miller with another beauty. Barlow will let this one go, and it's tipped. That is very, very close. Lance Brown was the guy who tipped it back over his shoulder and saved it, and they have downed it at the 1-foot line after a punt of 56 yards. Steelers special teams are helping keep them in this ballgame. Jacksonville with lousy field position again. Jaguars lead at 6-3, take over on their own 3-yard line. Their all-world left tackle, Tony Baselli, has not had any help as if he needs it on 40 plays. And they've run behind him 6 times for 34 yards. No sacks, no pressures, no hits on his quarterback, Mark Brunell.
And no sweat on his jersey.
Stewart trying to get out of the end zone and barely did. Just barely. Earl Holmes, the leading tackler for the Steelers, helped string it out and make the stop.
When I talked to Jimmy Haslett earlier today, he mentioned the fact that he felt like Earl Holmes was just playing sensationally. Watch him work down the line, and as Stewart turns it up, Holmes meets him at the intersection around the 1-yard line.
Well, you got a fullback, Shelton, going in. You've got to block somebody, and he doesn't block at the point of attack.
Stewart again. And again, barely got out of his own end zone.
Well, we talked about Tony Baselli. You saw the numbers on him, but when you see this package on Baselli, just look at his hands. As big as he is, this really is a very, look at the arm extension. Watch this. Look at his arms. Watch his hands. Watch how great he uses them. Here he comes again. Hands, hands. He's like a fighter.
He is something special. And this one thrown away by Brunell, the only one in the area, the tight end Damon Jones. And now Brian Barker is going to have almost no room to kick it out of there.
Hey, Jim Haslett's defense has done a terrific job. And I mentioned he's lost a lot of people over the last 3 years. He has done an outstanding job. You know, you get to a point in the season where you start looking at the guys that, you know, may have an opportunity to be a head coach. Certainly Dom Capers is going to be considered. Jim Haslett had 4 interviews last year. I mean, these defenses are really playing well. The score indicates.
And the defense for the Steelers, the only thing along the special teams keeping them in this game.
Here's where Barker, what he has to do, it's a one-step kick. All you got to do is get it out of there. That makes a difference where you go. One step and hit it.
Low line drive, bouncing at the 40. Edwards thinks better of it and will let it go as it dies at the 39. 36-yard punt, but Barker did his job, as you said, Paul. His job is to get it out of there. Jaguars lead at 6-3. That's Carnell Lake, who was a 4-time Pro Bowler in Pittsburgh. Here's the former Steeler on the past and present.
Carnell Lake.
Still have friends on that team. Still have a lot of good memories about Pittsburgh. But it just so happens that I play with Jacksonville now. You know, this is my 11th season, and I've only been to the Super Bowl once, and I didn't win it. You know, this means quite a bit to me.
It means quite a bit to him, but he also told us that he said he thought that there were guys on that team in Pittsburgh that the front office was not committed to win.
They've lost so many free agents over the years. Bettis, a flag is down. Bettis is not. And drags Bryant to the 25-yard line.
Mark Bruner, the tight end, number 87, moved before the play. This will be no play.
Prior to the snap, false start, 87, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
The Steelers have enjoyed great field position all night long. They've only gotten 3 points out of it. And Bill Cowher is saying you've got to think.
Well, you're down, you know, with that run, you're automatically in field goal range. Now you play right into Dom Capers' hands. Bill Cowher does not want to have his offense in long yardage situation. I mean, he's so mad he's got spit all over his chin.
Tomczak to Bruner, the tight end. Bruner gets away from 2 guys and rumbles down to the 26-yard line. Did not wrap up, and it's a gain of 18.
And that is how you get back into the good graces of a coach.
Aaron Beasley, number 21. When you hit a guy, you've got to make sure you got a piece of him, especially the guy this size. Watch this. Beasley, he just launches his body, number 21, and doesn't make the tackle.
I don't think he'd have brought him down.
Well, but what happens when you do that, he knocked off Kevin Hardy.
Bettis. Since that first carry where he got 8 yards, Jerome Bettis has had almost no room to run. There's Dan Rooney, the president of the Steelers. And he has certainly seen a talent drain with his franchise, but somehow they have been able to replace those guys and remain competitive.
I mean, that's what you focus on, that they've been able to stay competitive. You've got 30 teams bidding on your top players. You can't match dollar for dollar.
No, you can't.
What people are going to pay them.
You run headlong into the cap. Tomczak. Bruner. About 3 yards shy of a first down. Bruner last week gained 51 yards receiving. That was nearly half of what he had all year long. He has not been a target when Cordell Stewart was the quarterback.
Bruner had 12 catches coming into this game. He's got a 25% of those tonight with 3 of them.
Well, that's what happens when you get an experienced quarterback. You talk to any quarterback, they love their tight end.
Especially as you start to get into the red area.
Huntley is in on 3rd and 3. Tomczak flushed and throws, and Bryant climbed the ladder and knocked it down.
Boy, is that a great play by Fernando Bryant.
Yeah, because he's got Hines Ward sitting in the end zone all by himself.
Watch Fernando Bryant. I mean, what he does is he times this thing perfectly. He releases, sits in that zone. He's watching Tomczak, and then he just launches himself up in the air. What a great play.
Boy, Donovan Darius very late coming over from his safety spot. And now Chris Brown will have a chance to tie it. And does. The 2 field goal kickers have the only points of the night. We're deadlocked at 6. If you would like to simultaneously experience tonight's game on television and online, log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com and click on the enhanced TV logo. We will take you live to the internet after the kickoff. And Mr. McGuire will have an opportunity to keep his record spotless.
I can't wait.
Back up, boys. Get out of my way.
Barlow and Mack deep to receive. Mack at the 9. Flag is down. Mack goes down at the 24. Scott Shields down on special teams made the tackle.
Flag on the play.
Jaguar special teams have really hurt themselves tonight. Let's go to the internet live. Paul and Joe all year have been competing to see who can pick the correct play. Paul has yet to get one right. The 30 points was in our trivia contest.
Right.
So, Mr. McGuire, you have a chance tonight to pick up some points, and they are asking, would you like my help?
No.
You can dial him up.
I want your help.
Dial him up on the old lifeline.
All right, what's the play?
All right, boys, here it comes. Is he going to get Jimmy Stewart will carry the ball. James Stewart. That's I'm picking. Running back James Stewart.
Is that your final answer?
Well,
I have the check
off.
right here.
Will you guys knock it off?
I have the check right here. You sure? Okay.
I'll take the check.
He hasn't cashed one all year.
Yeah, well, oh, boy, he's by himself. Oh, no. I'm in trouble.
Cornell Barlow makes the catch. McCardell was right on top of him. Somebody ran the wrong pattern, and Paul picked the wrong answer again. Congratulations, Paul. Joe, you're getting a compliment on the internet. Can you keep it going?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, I believe I can. I will go with James Stewart.
Well, you dog.
Hey, you had 1st and 10?
Go, Stewart, go. 40, got a block from Smith. That's a heck of a run for James Stewart. He's down to the Pittsburgh 33.
I would normally never root for one player versus another.
But you get extra points.
But what can I tell you?
All right, here he goes. Nice call, Joseph, and watch Baselli. Here he is. No, he just blocks down on Kevin Henry. They block down. An excellent block by Sheldon, the fullback. And look at Jimmy Smith, 82 downfield blocking.
Stewart, 40 yards on that run, 108 for the night. Cornell can't find anybody, then goes to Shelton, incomplete, covered by Holmes. And Joe, you really racked up some extra points on that run. The total is 143 to 30.
Why does he get extra points?
For the yardage.
I get for the player as well as yardage. You would know that, but you get
5 points for the answer, 40 for the yardage.
Had you gotten the right answer at some point this year, you would have known that. You next year. You do it next week. I guarantee you. We got a lot of time in these next week or so.
Good next year.
Cornell pressure from behind. Shelton, what a catch. Plucked it like an apple.
One of the things you notice what this offensive line does, Joe, is when they block, they keep everybody inside. They don't let anybody get to the outside.
They really allow Mark some room to be able to step up. Here comes the pressure. Watch the catch, though. One-hander. Woo! That's a heck of a grab. It's always a heck of a grab when the guy doesn't use the other hand.
Try that in your backyard.
I got two. You got three. Chase, that's you.
Brunell underneath to Barlow. He's at the 24. That'll be shy of a first down.
The offense, they want to go for it. They're signaling, let's go for it.
No sign of the field goal team.
I think Tom Coughlin has to go for it here. I really do.
Why?
I think for the confidence of his football team. They've struggled all night, and we've mentioned it before. You line up and kick a field goal against Pittsburgh. The defense has won again against your quote-unquote highly vaunted offense.
This is a yard short.
I think
they're just doing this to get a play in or decide what they're going to do.
I think you got to pound it in. I really do.
Well, you got the best field goal kicker in the game.
I still think it's an important time for your football team to make some confidence.
Well, if they go for it, it says two things. I like my offense and I love my defense.
And that's the other side of it. If you've got a defense that's ranked #1 the way the Jaguars are, you can have this luxury to take a chance.
And I think this is going against everything that Tom Coughlin believes in. I think he believes in putting points on the board.
It may be, but there goes that conservative tag.
Yep. I think he's mislabeled with the conservative tag.
I do too.
And you got Tony Baselli on the left side. You've got Damon Jones at 280 on the left side.
And that's where they go. Stewart, first down and more.
you got 320 and 280 against a linebacker in Carlos Emmons, who's 250, and Orpheus Roy, who's 288. Tony Baselli continuing to play at an extremely high level. Look at he gets out on Kevin Henry and just turns him. Just turns him out of the hole. Ben Coleman takes the inside backer, and there's a gigantic hole for James Stewart to run through.
He may be the most athletic 320-pounder in football. Stewart hit from behind. Nice stop by Orpheus Roy, who came down from the right side.
You know, we talked to Tony Baselli yesterday. He says, don't do that to me anymore. He said, don't do any packages. He says, the guys on the other side and all the other linemen are doing a great job. And he's very serious. These guys, they razz him so bad when they go into the meeting because of the packages that he gets. But he gets those packages because he is that good.
Giving up 9 sacks in 5 years. And some of those weren't his fault. Brunell, incomplete, flag is down. Knocked away by Levon Kirkland, intended for the tight end Damon Jones.
Incomplete, flag on the play.
Levon Kirkland.
This one's going against the Jaguars. They're going to call Damon Jones for pass interference.
88, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
It's another Jacksonville mistake.
When you're that big, you shouldn't have to have offensive pass interference. All right, here's Levon Kirkland and Damon Jones. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold it. You know, you say that they're obvious. Where is this one obvious? I mean, come on.
I can't see it.
I think the officials tonight,
all right, here it is, Joe,
on a couple different instances have really missed some plays. I don't really.
Damon Jones pushes off.
Not really. I mean, they're running along. Their arms are moving.
I'm saying I don't see any pass interference on that play.
I agree with you.
They're back to the 28. Brunell throws. Smith, touchdown. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Dwayne Washington beaten by 2 steps.
This is incredible. I have no idea what Dwayne Washington is trying to do. First of all, he gives him a lot of room. And then he tries to jump outside and guess. Now he's got a chance to make a play on the ball and just mistimes it. I mean, that's just horrendous corner play.
Jimmy Smith with his 3rd straight 100-yard game. And Brunell throws his 13th touchdown pass of the season. Jacksonville, in spite of the offensive penalties and mistakes, has taken a 13-6 lead. These overhead shots provided by the Dell Computers Aerial Cam high above Jacksonville, Florida for this ESPN NFL Thursday night special. 13-6 Jaguars over the Steelers. 6:05 to go third quarter in a hard-fought defensive game. Zaraway and Huntley are deep. Huntley mutts it. And just gets back to the 20-yard line. Brant Boyer again down on special teams.
So often corners like to peek and look at quarterbacks now. He can get you in trouble. That's Jimmy Smith right there. That's Dwayne Washington right there. Smith is going to come down, run a little bit of a move this way. Washington's going to bite, and he's never going to get a chance to recover. Little bit of out move right there and up. And Dwayne Washington just gets caught flat-footed as Jimmy Smith goes by for an easy touchdown.
The Steelers have gained 72 yards all night. Bettis gets 1. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues this week as Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys battle Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots. And on Monday Night Football, Randy Moss and the Vikings take on Warren Sapp and the Tampa Bay Bucks. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. Primetime and crunch time in the NFL. Tomczak to Bettis, and he dropped it. Incomplete pass.
Pass intended for 36, Jerome Bettis, incomplete. Third down.
It has not gone well for Mike Tomczak in his first start in 3 years. 8 of 18 for only 69 yards. Brunell has thrown for nearly 200. But then, in all fairness, with Courtney Hawkins and Will Blackwell, 2 of his top receivers out, he doesn't have his normal targets either.
Well, the Steelers all year have only had 3 games where they passed for 200 yards or more, or 200 yards. Tomczak has 2 of them in relief.
3rd and 9. Boyer straight up the gut. They get it to Bruner, but Beasley is right there to stop him well shy of the first down. Just excellent Jacksonville defense.
Well, you talk about a delayed blitz by Boyer, number 52. He just waited for everything to clear out, and then he went up the middle, and nobody touched him.
Miller, who has been a highlight, to kick to Reggie Barlow. Crush. Barlow lets it bounce, and again died at the 1, tipped. Is it in? It is. They nearly stopped it after 75 yards.
Mike, the ball didn't go in. The player was laying in the end zone, and that's what they called it. You can't, if you're laying in the end zone and you touch the ball's in the end zone.
Lance Brown nearly did it. SportsCenter follows our broadcast, and Patrick and Linda Cohn standing by. They'll break down this game between the Steelers and the Jaguars. The question of the night, who will be the AFC champion? You may be looking at them. And Jeff George, is he King George in Minneapolis? Jaguars 7 of 8 times tonight have started at or inside their 20. Stewart dances and picks up more than 5.
It's that kind of a run that
James Stewart, the ball carrier, tackled by DJ Townsend. Gain of 6.
Donovan Darius is just smoking tonight, literally. Literally. Look at just cooking.
It's a little chilly in Jacksonville tonight.
Somebody put a pipe out on his head.
I was talking about that kind of run by James Stewart. That's the kind of run that you see a Fred Taylor take for a lot of yards.
Brunell floats it to McCardell. Mark Brunell, Joe, you mentioned at the beginning of the telecast, early in the season had a rib injury. The last 2 times we have seen him play, he has got that touchback.
But you're talking about James Stewart running with the ball. Fred Taylor might have gone. Watch the block, Joe. Look at the block by James Stewart. Right here. Bam! That's Evans down on the ground.
Nice little play action. This is what's known as touch. Look at him just drop that thing over the linebacker.
Stewart. Nice tackle by Earl Holmes.
James Stewart.
Now, we've seen enough games this year, Joe, when the offense really doesn't do anything and that defense is on the field for most of the game. I don't care how good you are, you're going to get tired.
You have to. Yeah, if you're playing 35, 40 minutes of a football game, you're going to get tired running and chasing people.
Earl Holmes does not have a confidence problem. When he was the 14th player taken in the draft, he sent Bill Cowher a note saying, "You just got the best guy on the board."
Okay.
Brunell with plenty of time underneath to Shelton. That'll bring up a 3rd and 5 as Holmes makes another tackle.
Pass complete to Damon Shelton. Tackle by Earl.
I tell you, when you have that much time to throw the ball, somebody's got to be open.
Well, Jim Haslett has sort of gambled a little bit through the entire night. Instead of giving up the big play, which is the way they really played him the last time, he's been satisfied to try and let Brunell just move down the field, hoping his defense can make a play. This is where they've got to stop him. They've given up too many big 3rd down plays to the Jaguars.
3rd and 5. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Barlow. lost the ball, but there is a flag down.
Brunell's pass, incomplete to Keenan McGardell.
Deshae Townsend with the coverage. We'll check the penalty.
Illegal contact, 26, defense. While the ball was in, correction, prior to the pass, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's that 5-yard rule again. Illegal contact. Townsend gets his hands on Barlow. Now here's the illegal contact.
Where?
Wait a minute.
Show me.
Wait.
Where?
Please.
Where? He never touched him.
Well, you're right. I don't.
That's amazing to me. Reggie Barlow ran right by Deshae Townsend like he wasn't even there.
Stewart to the 41-yard line. This ESPN NFL Thursday Night Special is brought to you by Fidelity Investments, by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile dealers, by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. By EA Sports and NBA Live 2000. If it's in the game, it's in the game. And by 10-10-3-2-1. Now just 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. 5 wide receivers set on 2nd and 7. Brunell, nobody home. Jimmy Smith, double coverage.
I like what Tom Coughlin is doing offensively with the Jaguars. It's a short week, and you've really only had 2 days to try and look at film and prepare. Now, even though these teams have played each other quite a bit in the division, when you throw a lot of sets up like Tom has done, you're forced almost to play a lot of zone. And you have a chance to get a little pressure on the quarterback and allow Brunell to have the night like this. Unfortunately for Cowher, he can't generate any kind of offense to take advantage of it.
Steelers came in #1 in the NFL in pass defense, #5 overall. They have been torched by Brunell. Pressure coming, throws for Smith, incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down.
This is an opportunity to give somebody else credit except Tony Boselli. Zach Wiegert, number 77, does a terrific job of buying a little bit of time for Mark Brunell. They had a safety blitz coming off the corner, and he just manages to get out and get a piece of him. Watch this. Watch number 77. There comes just enough to get out and make the play on Lance Brown. So there are other guys in that offensive line.
Wiegert, the former Outland Trophy winner out of Nebraska. Barker, great kick. Coffin corner, you just don't see it much anymore. One of Paul McGuire's favorites.
Ryan Barker's caught out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
35-yard punt. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Mike, after 170 consecutive starts for the Pittsburgh Steelers, center Damani Dawson has been out there last 5 games with a hamstring injury. And Damani, you guys make the switch to Mike Tomczak at quarterback. Give me your analysis as to why this offense has struggled tonight.
Well, it's hard to explain, man. I mean, we just haven't been consistent, you know, and I really can't pinpoint it. Our running game hasn't been as consistent as the past years. And, you know, of course, you know, Cordell's been having his problems, but it's really hard to pinpoint what one thing going wrong.
What does the team think about Cordell's return to the wide receiver position?
Well, I mean, it was a decision by Coach Cowher, and, you know, he's accepted it well. And, you know, hey, I mean, it's unselfish of him, you know, to go back to receiver and accept that role.
Damani, thank you very much. Damani Dawson expected to return to the starting lineup next week when Pittsburgh plays the Baltimore Ravens, Mike.
All right, Solomon, and they'll be very grateful to have the all-pro center back. The last catch made by John Whitman, the fullback. Cordell has seen limited action as a wide receiver. Of course, he had only 2 days to get back into that vein. He had not played wide receiver in 3 years. Bettis trying to pick up the first down, has it and more. Solid tackle by Carnell Lake, his former teammate.
Wrong balance the ball carrier, tackle by Carnell Lake.
And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter when they rewind the clock after marking the ball. The Steelers have been dominated in this game, and yet they are only down by 7 points. End of the third. The Jacksonville Jaguars came into this game with the best record in the NFL. They have, statistically at least, the best defense in the NFL, only giving up 95 yards total. Are they the best team in the NFL?
Yes. But they are, and the argument against it is, they haven't beaten a team, or all teams they've beaten don't have winning records. I don't care about that. They're on their way to becoming, what, 12, 10, and 11 and 1?
11 and 1.
Hey, they're the best team.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the key word here is team. Offensively, they have weapons, they have speed, they have hard runners. Defensively, they put a lot of pressure on you. And special teams, they create opportunities for you to be able to play the kind of offense and defense you want.
Steelers 1st and 10. Tomczak to Bettis with a head of steam. Beasley takes him out of bounds, but it's a first down out at the 37.
Tomczak's pass complete to Jerome Bettis, tackled by Carnell Lake. Gain of 13, first down.
Hardy was the number 2 overall pick in the '96 draft. They have drafted extremely well here. They've gotten tremendous productivity. They got Brunell in a trade as their franchise quarterback. And Tony Baselli, the first pick of the franchise, the left tackle out of USC, to be the anchor of that offensive line for about a dozen years. Bettis hit in the backfield. Brackens just reached out and dragged a 260-pound running back to the ground.
Well, Bettis was kind of stopping, but Tony Brackens, you talk about. We look at Baselli with his hands.
What a play.
When you said that, he's stopping. Yeah.
Good protection for Tomczak this time. And throws complete to the rookie Edwards. Taken out of bounds by McElmurray. Gain of 15.
Through 3 quarters of this football game, the Pittsburgh Steelers have not been able to run the football at all. Having a little bit of a running game buys just a little bit more time for Tomczak to find Troy Edwards. I like this kid. He's working. He has a good feel for the game. He has a good feel once he get out into the open fields. And Blaine McElmurray knocks him out of bounds.
Bettis gets 3. Ball came loose. No signal about whistling it dead, but it looks like the Steelers have covered it up.
Boy, they get a break there.
That is the ball carrier.
Wynn and Martz were in on the stop.
Gain of 3, second down.
And Jerome breathing easier.
Lonnie Martz, number 56, is the guy that's going to rip it out. Watch his right hand. Reach in. Now pull the ball down. You've got to control the ball. The thing about it is, the reason that ball comes out is because Jerome Bettis is on the body of another man. He is not on the ground yet. Watch Jerome Bettis. He is not on the ground when the ball comes out.
Tomczak knocked away from Lions. Bryce Popp, the 4-time Pro Bowler who came over from Buffalo a year ago. And there's Wayne Weaver, the owner of the Jacksonville franchise. 6 years ago this week, he got the good news that this city had been awarded the 30th NFL franchise. And boy, they've made the most of it, haven't they?
Everywhere you go around this town, all you see is teal and Jaguars. Can't say Tigers. Jaguars.
73,000 fans every single game. Stewart, the motion man. Blitz. Beasley right in his face and knocked it down.
Boy, you talk about tremendous timing. Aaron Beasley, number 21, comes off the corner, and he just times it perfectly. Tomczak has no chance, and he knows it. He's going to throw to his right. 21 is Beasley. Watch this. Up in the air and knock the ball down. Perfect.
See Brendan Stein, number 68. Try and get out to make a play and can't. Look at the hang time Beasley has. Wow. Woo.
Miller will punt to Barlow. Another nice punt by Miller, and nearly downed at the goal line again. A 47-yard punt. Again, terrible field position for the Jaguars. They'll take over at their own 20. Jacksonville leading at 13-6, Mr. Theismann.
And Levon Kirkland has had himself a busy night. His usual productive all over the field. There you see the numbers on him. There he is going on, takes on Damian Shelton, drives him to the ground. Then he's in pursuit with James Stewart and gives him a little toe tackle. Then he shows his ability in the pass coverage. When Keenan McCardell decides to come into his area, he just punches the ball out. The perennial All-Pro.
He's a great player, isn't he, though? Brunell too low for McCardell. And Brunell took a shot just as he released it from Nolan Harrison.
There have been a couple times tonight where Brunell has had receivers wide open, and just a little bit of extra effort by a defensive player from the Steelers stops him from being executed. He'd have another 80 yards passing in just a couple plays.
359 to 124 yards in the time of possession, 11-minute difference. Brunell on the roll. McCardell got a block from Barlow. Keenan McCardell knocked down by Travis Davis.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that Keenan McCardell does. When he comes across and he makes the catch, he sees Washington, number 20, and he avoids him. I mean, first of all, watch it. Now watch Keenan McCardell, 87. When he makes the catch, he makes sure he gets the ball. Now look at 20. He avoids Washington. Then he picks up a block from Barlow.
What a great job of a receiver not involved in catching the ball, helping out and making a play.
What was also impressive about that, he made sure he caught it first and then made his move. Stewart behind Shelton. A couple, and that's it.
James Stewart, the ball carrier, tackled by Carl.
For the second week in a row, both the Jaguars starting wide receiver have gone over 100 yards, and Stewart has rushed for 126. That's just tremendous production.
You know, Monday night we get to see a couple of fabulous receivers in Randy Moss and Chris Carter. I'll tell you, Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith rank right up with those two guys when you talk about production and big plays.
They have both been Pro Bowlers. Brunell shakes a tackle. Now throws. Incomplete. Intended for McCardell. There was contact with Townsend, but it looked like it was because McCardell fell down.
Incomplete. DJ Townsend on the...
That's the most contact a receiver has had tonight, and there's no flag. I mean, that's...
And I think this was a good non-call.
Good call.
Steelers are clinging to any chance of going to the playoffs. They're down by 7. They're already within long field goal range for Hollis. And the Steelers defense facing a 3rd and 8. They need a stop here.
I just don't feel like you can drop back and give Brunell the chance just to be able to throw. You got to come after him somehow.
Good protection. Smith trying to get the first down. It appears that he has it inside that ESPN 1st and 10 line near the 20.
Well, you know, what's going to happen, and you're right, you can't sit back and play defense, zone defense. They came with the blitz. The Steelers, watch these guys pick it up. Look at that offensive line, including James Stewart, number 33. He steps up and helps out. And then Brunell just leads Jimmy Smith coming across the field. Townsend has no chance.
And they do a wonderful job of creating throwing lanes. You could see the vision that Mark Brunell had when he threw that ball.
Stewart runs into his own man. Will pick up about 3. Holmes with the tackle. Ben Coleman downfield throwing a block, and he about dehorned Stewart.
He threw a block on James Stewart.
Second down.
Fernando Bryant.
Well, the defense has come up big again tonight for Jacksonville. They have been sensational.
Aaron Beasley doing some coaching. Continuing.
He did some of that in the offseason at West Virginia. He said now he knows why coaches yell at players, because he was a coach. It's the only time they listen. Brunell, Smith got a hand on it, couldn't hold it.
Mark Brunell's pass intended for Jimmy Smith.
You know, sometimes you just wonder, here's a quarterback, Mark Brunell, standing back there. Joey's got all the time in the world to throw the football and can't get it on target to a guy that's only about 9 yards down the field. And then he could throw a ball over 2 or 3 linebackers and drop it in perfectly like some 30 yards down the field.
That's why guys don't go 30 for 30.
I was just going to say that's why guys don't have 100% completion percentage.
Another big third down. Bad snap. Brunell recovers. Smith, first down. First and goal, Jaguars at the 6. He beat Dwayne Washington.
If he is not one of the best receivers in pro football, I don't know who is. I'm going to tell you, Jimmy Smith, is he a terrific guy. But you watch this guy. When he goes downfield, Washington's trying to stay with a little move real quick to the outside. He gets into his pattern right away. The ball is there when he turns. That's first down.
The other thing is, look at the awareness of where he knows where the sideline is. See how he stops? You know, and just sort of slides out of bounds.
Smith, pending Sunday's action, has more catches and more yards than any receiver in football. Steelers come early. Stewart hitting the backfield and will lose yardage and the ball.
This was no play at all because the Steelers, now they're going to call
Carlos Emmons with a shot at Baselli. Not a smart play by Emmons.
Well, first of all, it's no play because Pittsburgh made contact on the line of scrimmage.
The only question would be, were they drawn off?
Well, my other question is if a defensive player crosses the line, don't you throw the flag right away?
No, no, they don't. Not unless they touch somebody or make an offensive player move. If an offensive player doesn't move, he's just offside.
There comes
offsides and a personal foul. By the way, congratulations to the NFL for getting rid of that slashing gesture. That had no place in this or any other game. Hats off to them for making sure it doesn't happen anymore.
Here, here.
Offside, defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, 51, late hit, continuous action, half the distance to the goal, first down.
All right, look at Kevin Henry, 76. He's across the line, and he does make contact before the ball is snapped. Here's Emmons. Watch this. Oh, come on.
Oh, wait a second. It's not done yet.
Yep,
that was it. Tony Baselli is laying on top of him, and the guy's trying to get up, and they throw a flag for that.
For trying to get up. That's the old trying to get up flag.
Looked like it was a little more than trying to get up, but it wasn't a whole lot. They have called this one tight, and it's going to be a 3-yard penalty from the 6 to the 3.
Tight?
Yeah, real tight.
Yeah. I mean, there have been some calls tonight that I think we better get some rulings on. Something I don't understand.
Well,
isn't this a contact sport?
Depends on the crew.
And a major discussion about this.
I think they're trying to figure out where to spot the ball.
Correction. The offside by the defensive nose tackle will be accepted. Half the distance from the previous spot. And we'll play first down.
So half the distance will take it to the 6 to the 3. Then half the distance again should take it to the 1.5.
Yeah, but now they're not a set. Okay, there's Baselli. He comes down and jumps on top of him, and he's just laying there. Okay? Now, they're saying that he threw a forearm into his ribs.
Stewart. Emmons, solid tackle, but he got to the 1.
James Stewart, the ball carrier. Tackled by Carlos Emmons and Lee Flowers. Gain of 2, second down.
James Stewart with a career-high 132. He has a career-high season total, nearly 800 yards. This will be the 10th play of this drive, and Jacksonville trying to put it away. Steve Ingram, number 67, has checked in. He is a tackle eligible on this play.
Play action is, I mean, Steelers are coming up.
Stewart somehow worked his way into the end zone.
Oh, what great second effort.
James Stewart took 3 hits, kept driving, kept spinning, and got a touchdown.
When he makes that spin, that turn to get the ball over the goal line, that's beautiful.
And Stewart gets up very slowly.
Here he comes. He's hit right here in the hole, but watch the turn he makes. And then get the ball. Boom. Baselli on Kevin Henry. There's your hole.
Well, he just does it every single play. Hollis for the point after. Jacksonville finally with breathing room. They're up 20-6. The Steelers have gained 124 yards tonight. James Stewart has gained 133 by himself. And he got this touchdown to make it a 14-point lead. James Stewart celebrating on the sideline, and why not? His club now up 20-6 as they go for their 11th NFL leading victory of the year. Both receivers with over 100 yards. The running back with over 100 yards. The defense has held Pittsburgh to 2 field goals. Some performance. Amos Zaraway from the 4. Man nearly got dehorned. Somehow stayed on his feet, kept the legs moving. Reagan Upshaw made the tackle. All right, we asked all the people on the internet with us to come back. And do you think Paul McGuire will ever catch Joe Theismann on our enhanced TV scoreboard? This was a worldwide poll.
A worldwide poll?
Yes.
Wow.
Internet-wide. Whoops. Paul, the faithful are running away from you in droves.
Well, I want to know how many times Beverly voted.
14% of the time. 14% of the time my wife voted.
Will Beverly hang in there? Richard Huntley, the setback on 1st and 10 Jaguar, or 1st and 10 Steelers. Huntley on the draw, room to run. Huntley all the way out to the 49-yard line.
What was Donovan Darius doing? Richard Huntley runs right by him like he's not even there. He just went like walking by him.
I don't think Darius could believe anybody was in the secondary. Tomczak, oh, great move by Edwards. And then Edwards throws the potential tackler McElmurray out of bounds.
Forced out of bounds by Blaine McElmurray.
This is the young man who set an NCAA record at Louisiana Tech with 140 catches, 1,996 yards.
I'll tell you, this is a great move he makes after the catch. Watch this. Beasley is there. He will boom back to the inside, and then smart enough to get out of bounds. Now, the clock stops after 5 minutes in the 4th quarter, but it stopped for a second until they set the ball.
Crowd is right back in it. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of the diving Hines Ward.
Contact pass is in for Hines Ward.
I think Mark Bruner thought the ball was for him because he put his hands up also.
Yeah, but he couldn't get him up quick enough.
He tried to get it.
Well, that was a catch Ward should have made.
When Bill Cowher made the quarterback change, the one thing he wanted to eliminate was the mistakes, the interceptions that Cordell had thrown in the last game. He has done that. I mean, Tomczak has not played spectacularly, but he certainly has played well. Not a lot of production, but he hasn't made the big mistake.
Tomczak throws underneath, and it's complete to Bobby Shaw. They've got a first down inside the Jacksonville 30. So the sense of urgency striking that Pittsburgh offense.
There is a sense of urgency, but you know, the thing that bothers me about a team like the Jaguars, when you get up 14, don't quit doing what got you the lead. Keep putting heat on the quarterback.
Draw play, Huntley. He runs hard inside the 20, a gain of 8.
Paul, let me address that. I think what Dom Capers is faced with here is we saw New Orleans 2 weeks ago go 3 wides and move the ball pretty effectively against this defense. Baltimore last week did the same thing. This is the first time Pittsburgh has really opened their offense up tonight in a hurry-up, and they're effectively spreading out the defense.
Huntley again, and Bruner is going to be called for a hold. Big time.
The ball carrier, tackled by Donovan Derry, is flag on the play.
Holding. 87. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
All right, Mark Bruner, there he is on Kevin Hardy. He's holding him, and it's right at the point of attack. Donovan Darius, what a great play coming up from the safety position. I mean, he just makes a good hit.
He didn't miss him that time.
No, he did not.
And also, the Steelers are in 4-down territory. They're not going to try and kick a field goal.
Cordell's back in the game.
He's in the slot to the near side. Tomczak to Stewart. Lowers his shoulder and barrels down to the 16-yard line. It's his second grab of the game. That was for 14 yards. Brackens and Boyer on the stop.
First down, Pittsburgh.
Cordell Stewart as a wide receiver is really the biggest one they have.
Oh. Never had a chance as Hardy came in and buried Tomczak.
Sack 47.
Too easy.
They lead the NFL.
It's not often that you actually have a quarterback run into your arms for a sack. They try and run a little play action. Hardy comes around the corner. He tries to get blocked.
Chris Conrad just barely touched him. Incomplete, intended for Edwards. He was covered by Bryant.
Tomczak's pass intended for Troy Edwards.
And Tom Coughlin really exercised about something.
Third down, Steelers.
Tonight, 63 yards rushing, only 127 passing, 190 total, well under their league-leading 251 average. They also came in #1 in the NFL in points allowed. Huntley can't make the catch. Tomczak had to get rid of it in a hurry because Joel Smengi was right in his face.
You know, when you look at this defense, when these guys decide they're going to come, the Jaguars, Joe, there is always one guy running free.
They really design it very well, don't they?
Oh, it's amazing.
Dom Capers does a wonderful job of moving his linebackers outside, bringing 4 people from one side, so that if they don't get somebody blocked, he's going to run free. If they do, it's usually going to be somebody trying to handle one of the big guys one-on-one.
You know, we've never seen Dom Capers say anything into that microphone. Every time we see him, he's just sitting there.
Just watching.
4th and 19. Flag is down for the end zone. Incomplete.
Kevin Hardy was offside. Number 51 got in the neutral zone.
And that would give the Steelers another shot at it on a 4th and 14.
Look at this.
Total frustration.
Yeah, it's 4th down. They're throwing the ball in the end zone.
Offside. Number 99, defense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Going to call it on Smangy. I thought Hardy was over the line as well.
So did I. I thought it was, but it's down here on the bottom. There's Hardy. He's the guy that's over the line. Smangy's
sure
not.
Falsely accused.
That's right. And Tom Coughlin is thoroughly upset with that.
Now 4th and 14. 4:20 to go in the game. The Steelers need touchdowns.
I wouldn't yell at that guy, though.
74,000 on their feet.
I think you give Cordell a chance to make a play here.
They gave him a chance and overthrew him. Bryant with the coverage. Incomplete. They'll turn it over on downs.
Contact pass intended for Cordell Stewart. Fernando Bryant on the coverage. Incomplete.
4:15 to go in the ball game. The Jaguars lead the Steelers 20-6. These overhead shots provided by the Dell Computer Aerial Cam high above Jacksonville, Florida for this ESPN NFL Thursday night special. And it's been some show by the Jaguars. They lead at 20-6. That was their stated goal when the season started. And they get one step closer tonight.
And then they get 11 days off till they get Denver here.
And Denver should be a real test. Stewart picks up 4. Coming up next, Sports Center. Dan Patrick and Linda Cohn bring you up on the day in sports. More on the Steelers and Jaguars. Not hoops, but Malone. Marino against Manning coming up in Week 13. And Sir Charles said what?
You know, the one thing about talking to these Jaguars, though, you know, you talk to a lot of teams, and their teams are thinking, we want to get to the playoffs. That is our goal. We like to win our division, get to the playoffs. These guys, since the beginning, they're talking Super Bowl.
Long signal count by Brunell gives it to Stewart. The Jaguars really working on the clock right now.
James Stewart, the ball carrier, tackled by Travis Davis.
Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell over 100 each tonight. That is the 6th time in their careers, and that is second all-time NFL. Don Maynard and George Sauer with the Jets did it 7 times, both getting over 100 yards in the same game. Art Monk and Gary Clark for the Redskins did it 6 times.
Well, these guys are they're gonna break that record.
I think they will. They may get it in 11 days. Play action, Brunell. What a great fake. McCardell across the 40, first down.
He didn't even have to throw this ball. He could have walked for the first down.
Yeah, but he's not gonna. He's gonna throw it. But when you can run the football, that's how the linebackers have to respect it. It allows McCardell to come inside and move out into the flat where he's wide open.
It's tough to find a hole on this football team. These guys really look solid.
Well, we're talking about these guys. Their objective is the Super Bowl, which is everybody else's. But they were talking about not getting wrapped up in having the best record. And the thing that Tony Vaselli told us was this: we have an experienced guy at every single position. We are not going to allow this team to look beyond the next game.
We have reached the 2-minute warning at Allstate Stadium in Jacksonville. It's 20-6 Jaguars.
We're proud to support the Jaguars in the race.
It's the Jacksonville Landing on the waterfront downtown. Tremendous development in Jacksonville in the last 10-15 years. Really turned it into a beautiful city.
Great golf courses.
Oh,
you used to work here.
Yes, I did.
Great. You love it.
The guy told me, the waiter the other night, said you were a weatherman here.
No, he got that one wrong. Right guy, wrong job.
He really did.
Cool. They really liked him down there, too.
Oh, yeah, everybody did.
Stewart picks up, well, just enough to get back to the line of scrimmage, and the Steelers will use a timeout. They'll stop the clock with 1:55 to go. And we'll be back to Jacksonville in just a minute.
Remember, Jaguar fans, the NFL season.
They'll be along to catch you up on everything when we're done here. 1:55 to go on the stadium clock. Jacksonville has salted it away 20-6. Stewart. The Jaguars will go to 11-1, the first time anyone in the AFC Central has done it since the Steelers back in 1975. This ESPN NFL Thursday Night Special is brought to you by Fred Meyer's Jewelers and Littman Jewelers for all those special items. By Dell Computer, Be Direct, Dell, and by the New York Stock Exchange. The world puts its stock in us.
You know, we talked tonight about this Jaguar defense. This is their 12th game. They've given up a total of 16 points in the third quarter in 12 games.
Hey, Pittsburgh's defense has only given up, what, 20?
20.
Says something about adjustments in the locker room, doesn't it?
It does. At halftime, when people say, well, we don't make adjustments, you sure do.
And, of course, there's all the speculation about Bill Cowher. Is he going to stay in Pittsburgh? Is he not? You know, when we had a chance to talk to him, he said, hey, look, I plan on being here next year. Let's put a stop. He doesn't know where all the things come from, how it starts, but he plans on coaching his football team.
And his owner is planning on it, too. Brunell Smith hustling with that extra effort to get a first down.
Brunell's pass complete to Jimmy Smith.
This will be really close on the mark, but what great effort by Jimmy Smith. In a game when you're up by 14, this would be the third straight game that the Jaguar defense has held the Steelers without a touchdown.
Tony Brackens saw Kevin Hardy. Even though no defensive players from the Jaguars have ever gone to the Pro Bowl, I would venture there'll be about 5 or 6 of them heading that way this year.
And they are so happy with Dom Capers as their defensive coordinator. They're trying to enjoy it now because I don't think anybody expects Dom Capers not to get a head coaching job next year.
In a single game.
They really have made some key acquisitions, one being Carnell Lake, the other being Gary Walker. They brought in some key people. Fernando Bryant comes in as a rookie and starts for you on the corner. And that's what you were talking about, Paul. Everywhere you look, you've got a veteran to help out.
Second with Solomon Wilcott. Solly, what do you have?
Yeah, guys, I played for Dom Capers, and what I remember most about Dom is that he has a very sharp mind and he's very thorough. In fact, he has a master's degree in administration, so it should come as no surprise that his organizational skills are impeccable. What Dom likes most, he wants his football players to have a high football IQ. In this zone blitz scheme, he requires every player to know not only their assignment, but the assignment of the other players on the defense so that they may all play in unison. And Mike, he's doing so well. One local writer here in Jacksonville, he says that Capers is the most brilliant defensive strategist since Johnny Cochran.
I'll tell you what, I hope this guy doesn't leave for a head coaching job. If you want to have a good football team on defense, pay this guy what he needs to be paid and keep him here.
Yeah, he is sensational.
Can't happen.
It will happen. He's not going anywhere.
Edwards back for Barker's punt. Steelers try to come after him, can't get there, and Barker hangs it high. Edwards muffs it. And Simmons got it back. A break for the Steelers, but only 1:27 left.
Barker's punt, fumbled by Troy Edwards, recovered by Jacksonville
after they face Denver.
Right, and well, in a couple days, we see a heck of a football game with the Cowboys rolling into New England.
Yes, sir.
Can New England stop their spiral move down?
Look at those numbers, Smith and McCardell. And for McCardell, averaged nearly 23 yards a catch. Tomczak making his first start in 3 years, misses wide for Edwards.
You know, I kind of like this 5 games in 14 days. We ought to do like one every 3 days next year.
I like it.
We'll get them all out of the way right away. Mike.
We need Joe to buy us our own airplane.
Yeah, well, that's what we need.
You can use mine.
Stewart with a career high. 2 wide receivers over 100. Stewart with 145. Brunell with over 300. They have never had their 4 skill people do that in a game. And Brunell has thrown for over 300 3 times in a row. Tomczak underneath to Stewart. And Cordell Stewart wrapped up by Carnell Lake. There's a marker down inside the 10.
Tackled by Carnell Lake. Flag on the play.
I don't think there's any limit to what Cordell Stewart could do as a wide receiver, but he has his mind made up that there's
33 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
He has his mind made up. There's no limit to what he can do as a quarterback.
Well, Mike, also, you're not going to pay him $27 million to be a wide receiver. If he doesn't play wide receiver, then you're in a situation where Bill Cowher really can't let him go because you got salary cap considerations. Sure. I mean, with the money that he committed to Cordell in the offseason, he really said that this guy has got to be the guy to play for us.
2nd and 18. Jaguars by 2 touchdowns. The Steelers, scrambling ability, touch, showed you everything.
His mobility, too. It's not just the ability to scramble and run and pick up yards. With his ability to move around, he buys time as his receivers work through his secondary. And he's finally worked up a sweat.
He works up a sweat. He works up a sweat.
He wasn't very, when we did the package, he didn't look well.
Tomczak under pressure. And that is a catch. Hines Ward.
Tomczak's pass complete to Hines Ward.
With 1:02 to go.
Gain of 20.
Gain of 25.
That's an outstanding catch. Look at Hines Ward. Gets his body turned around and makes the catch.
And does he have both feet in bounds?
He doesn't.
I think he had one down before the contact and then the other one.
I don't think he had possession.
Control of the ball.
I don't think he had possession.
You got too many things to look at.
You're asking me too many questions.
No, we're just telling you.
I'm not in this internet game.
Neither am I.
That's a good point, Paul. This one is thrown behind Edwards. Dave Thomas on the coverage.
I think this is the toughest time of a game for offensive linemen. I mean, you're always on your heels. You're always skating backwards. You know, with a guy like Mike Tomczak, you know he's not going to really run it or get flushed out of the pocket very far.
And for a team that leads the NFL in sacks, you know what they're looking for.
14 different players on the defensive side of the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars have sacks. 14.
3 guys came in with more than 8. Everybody almost got to that one, and what a play by Bryant. He just wrapped up Hines Ward before he could take a step on the flanker screen.
Well, there's a situation where a young man, I mean, he sees the play developing, and he makes the commitment to go with the receiver.
He's played corner all his life.
Ted says he was 8 years old. It's the only place he's ever been.
You know, talked to Carnell Lake a couple weeks ago, and he said, you know, this kid just really feels comfortable at the corner. It's the only thing he's known.
3rd and 14. Edwards can't quite get there. And that'll bring up a 4th down with 21 seconds left. Well, this about does it for the Steelers. You'd have to say at 5-7 with 4 straight division losses, the only chance they would have would be a total collapse by some other clubs.
Which brings up the question. If there's no future past the end of the season, do you give Cordell Stewart an opportunity to go back and continue to try and learn the quarterback position?
No.
Why?
Because he said so. He said as long as Tomczak is healthy, he's going to play. If something would happen to Tomczak in the game following that game, then Cordell Stewart may play.
Tomczak somehow got it in there, and Bobby Shaw juggled it and made the catch. Gain of 21 and a 1st down. But the clock is running.
Going to have one more play.
Tomczak to Stewart. And that's it. The Jaguars with a dominant performance, 131 points all year, and that's the best since the '85 Chicago Bears through 12 games of the season. Our final score, the Jaguars 20, the Steelers 6. Coming up next, SportsCenter, Dan Patrick and Linda Cohn. All the latest news, scores, and highlights. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcox, and our entire ESPN crew. This is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching. Good night from Jacksonville.